family, welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day because I'm celebrating 16 years with a healthy heart. On this day, May 1st, Sick Kids Hospital saved my life after I had open heart surgery, and I'm so grateful. So today I want to celebrate by sharing my story, and I did do a really big thing today. So definitely stay tuned until the end to find out. Anyways, let's get straight into it. To begin, I was born with a heart condition called complete heart block. And my mom has a condition called lupus, and her lupus antibodies attacked my heart when she was pregnant with me. And she had to take medication to help my heart get better because I had such a low blood pressure and low heart rate that the doctors didn't think I would make it. And luckily I survived, and it was a miracle. And I lived 6 months with a healthy heart, and everything was good until I was 6 months old. Because when I was 6 months old, I went into heart failure. My mom knew something was wrong because I was sick a lot. I was very sad as a little baby, and I even turned purple. And that's when my mom had an instinct, and always a mother's instinct or intuition, I mean, it's always right. So thankfully she took me into the emergency room, and I was actually throwing up everywhere. It was really bad. And before they performed open heart surgery on me when I was a baby, they tried to get me as healthy as I could, because the thing is, when I was a baby, I was so sick that they couldn't perform the surgery on me until I was better. Oh my god, it makes me a little bit sad because thinking of me that week when I was just a little itty baby is like so depressing. But anyways, they had to make sure I was good enough to like survive the surgery. So they gave me like a lot of medicine, and my mom gave me shots in my legs, and I built up like a lot of calluses. And I wasn't even afraid of the pain. I didn't even cry when my mom gave me the shots because I wasn't afraid. And that's so sad. But yeah, so they performed the surgery because my heart ruptured. Basically, my tricuspid valve, it ruptured into 3 spots, so I wasn't getting enough oxygen, enough blood, and that's why I went to heart failure. And they actually used tape and glue to repair my heart, and that is so crazy. I can't believe that, tape and glue, and my heart was amazing after that. I was told that I would need a pacemaker when I was a little bit older, because usually people with heart conditions, they have pacemakers when they're a little kid, and I lasted that long without a pacemaker because I got my pacemaker when I was 13, and my heart rate was still low during that time, and it's always going to be low because of my heart condition. But thankfully I could go that long without a pacemaker, because I couldn't imagine going through all that pain that I suffered when I had the surgery, and even after when I was like a little kid. So I ended up needing a pacemaker when I was 13 because I got my results back from my yearly checkup, and I developed extra heartbeats, which was messing with the pacing of my heart, and I have to take medicine to get rid of those heartbeats. And the medicine has a bad side effect to it, which lowers my blood pressure, and if it lowers my blood pressure, it could cause eternal damage. So I needed the pacemaker so I could take the medicine because the pacemaker will even everything out and it won't let my heart rate drop. So after like a few weeks since I found out about that news, I went in for a scheduled surgery. I was so nervous that day because I only had one surgery in my life that was related to my heart, and that was a long time ago, and I didn't remember it, and I don't remember it, but it was so scary that day, and the recovery process was so hard, and I'm really grateful that I was able to get through that pain, because first of all, I had to go under anesthesia, and I don't really do good with anesthesia, and I just wanted to go home because I don't like hospitals. But luckily the nurses, they were very kind to me, and my mom was by my side the whole time, and my mom is my best friend. So I'm so grateful to her. And the recovery process was 2 weeks long, so I was able to get back on my feet rather than not. What ended up happening was my pacemaker was starting to fail, because I would have symptoms after it was around 3 months of having my original pacemaker. I started to get dizzy, and I would suddenly black out. I would end up losing my balance, and I would fall and then be totally fine after that. And that happened like a few times until I was admitted in the hospital again in November 2021, the week of my brother's birthday. Sadly, I missed it, but I was able to FaceTime it, which is good. That didn't happen very frequently, but it did happen, and they didn't know why this was happening, so they wanted me to be admitted so they can check out what's happening with my pacemaker. And also what ended up happening was my pacemaker started to malfunction, because my pacemaker, when I was asleep, it wouldn't always kick in. I would have a heartbeat, but the pacemaker would suddenly stop and then kick back in and keep on doing that throughout the night. And they didn't know why that was happening because they hadn't seen that before. So I stayed in the hospital for around 5 days, and I felt totally fine. So it was weird being in the hospital when I felt fine, because it was happening while I was sleeping. And they still didn't know why it was happening, so they just made the pacemaker have more energy so it wouldn't happen. This continued for about a year. I think around a year or 2 years, because I got my second pacemaker last year, and that happened in 2021. So this kept on happening, and it got worse. Same thing happened, but I wouldn't get dizzy anymore, which is really good, and I wouldn't faint, but the sleeping problem was still happening, and it got worse. And in October of last year, I had to have my pacemaker surgery, because I had to have another pacemaker implanted. So I had to keep on going to sick kids, because they had to keep on upping how much energy is put into the pacemaker, because it was set at 60 originally, and that wasn't doing anything. So they decided with the second pacemaker they would keep it at 50, hoping that would help, and it did. But the reason why I had to have a new pacemaker is because my pacemaker wasn't working, and when I was sleeping, my pacemaker would stop, and also they wouldn't always see a heartbeat coming through. So that wasn't good, and they're worried, and they knew because I was using so much energy on my pacemaker, and every time I would go in to see them, they said like, oh, you're using more energy, so you're eventually going to need a pacemaker, because the years are going down, because you have a pacemaker for at least 10 years. And by the time I went in for my last appointment before my second surgery, it was like 2 years or a year. So I knew it was coming, but I didn't know this soon because it was in October on Thanksgiving weekend. My mom got the call, and I never get a call if it is good news, and my heart sank because I was like, I know what this is. So I had to go to the emergency room on Thanksgiving weekend, and I don't like thinking about the whole situation was very hard for me. But I was admitted into the hospital, and I waited 3 days, I'm pretty sure it was, of waiting until I could get my surgery because I was going to have it the next morning after being admitted. But then there were a lot of more surgeries scheduled before me that were more serious, and I was fine with that, but my anxiety was so high and I was so scared. The nurses and doctors, they were very nice to me, and my family came to visit, and my mom was always there. I'm so happy for it. But the surgery, it didn't go as planned. It was like 4 hours. It was only supposed to be like 2 hours, which is scary to think about, but luckily I'm all good. But what ended up happening was they went into my chest to replace the wires, and they noticed that my heart wall was attached to my chest. And that's because there was scar tissue built up from my open heart surgery. So they had to detach my heart wall from my chest, and they ended up cutting my heart. Then that meant I had to get a blood transfusion, and because of that, the healing process was very long. It took me, I think, about 2 months to start feeling like myself. And I remember it was such a hard process, but it makes me feel so relieved that I know I can get through like tough things like this. And I just can't believe that happened. But that was like the most scariest moment of my life. I just get watery eyes talking about it because I felt like was so weak then. But yeah, and there's a little scare as well during the recovery process because I had fluid in my lungs when I was recovering, and that was a little scary because that wasn't supposed to happen, but it all ended up working out. So that's my story, and I'm happy you guys are here to listen, and I hope you learned a lot. And if you can, please donate to Sick Kids Hospital. It would mean a lot to me. And I definitely collected a lot of bravery beads throughout the whole process of my pacemaker journey. My mom didn't know about the bravery beads when I was little, so I don't have any from them, but thank you guys for listening, and I appreciate you guys so much. And also, I did a fundraiser today because I thought go big or go home, because I wanted to do something very special for this Happy Heart Day. And I did a fundraiser for all my family and friends to participate in, and my goal was to raise up to $150. And no matter how much money my family and friends could contribute to, I was so happy, and I'm so grateful to everyone who reached out to me and told me they're thinking of me. And I raised way more than that. I raised $210.63, and I'm so grateful because I know that's going to help out the kids so much. It's going to help out with my future and the kids' future, and it means so much to me, so I'm so happy. And I also was able to donate too, so I'm happy I could participate as well. Love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys soon. Love you, and enjoy the little things. Peace out.